you know. Yeah, so here we go. I think I got a thumbs up. That means people are listening to me and hearing me, which is great. Thank you for bearing with me. I just, growing pangs here. Welcome to the Credit Savage of Wall Street channel. I am the Credit Savage. And yeah, man, so just try to touch base here with you guys because I said I would, in the Discord. Very excited. We got SOFI that is having earnings tomorrow. So they're presenting pretty early in the morning. I believe it's 5 a.m. My time, which would be 8 a.m. East Coast. So let me just see if I can. Yeah, that's much better. I think the light is so bright. It was really bright here early, so just trying to get a nice little bit of an ambiance going here. But I could talk about any of the Savage 10 at this point, but who am I kidding, right? Let's see here, Marie B. Hey, Marie, thank you for watching. I had other people here watching. I think I sent out an alert on the Discord, and it didn't work out because I was going through my laptop, and I was talking, but I couldn't see the levels of the audio. So I think I could hear it, but I didn't want to put the speaker on because then I got feedback. And so I don't know. I just started with the phone. It seems like it works. I just don't get a 16:9 view with the phone. So I know some people like, to get like the full screen. But at the end of the day, I don't think it matters because what we care about is the data, right? And making money. So if that's pretty much the gist of it, then we're good because that's what we're going to be talking about today. The SOFI forecast for tomorrow, what it's looking like for tomorrow. And it sounds good, which is good. Thank you for telling me that. Let's go. No, Mr. Wrench. You're not going to get a wrench because you're late always. So, yeah, no, that's not going to happen, sir. So here we go. I'm excited, man. Are you guys excited for tomorrow? There was some happenings during the weekend. I don't know if you guys caught wind of it, but another bank has actually gone under, and it's one of those things where it may catch SOFI on a contagion type of situation, right? So I don't know if you guys are up to it or up to date on that, but yes, another bank gets taken by the Fed, and it was another bank failure, right? And it's gonna be just a regional bank. It's so to speak, right? But I think it's going to definitely take a negative. It's going to be taken negatively by the market, and they're going to, by pure happenstance, right? And by pure just it being a bank, and they're thinking of SoFi as a regional bank, although it is not. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I see that I hope that Noto gives us some really good guidance tomorrow. I hope SoFi I hope they hit it out of the park on all metrics, right? Because just by SoFi being a bank, and then having another bank go under, it's just I don't like it. I just hate that SoFi has earnings on Monday, and I think Uncle Bruce touched on this last week. I don't like it either because so much can happen through the weekend, right? I with this situation with Iran and Israel, You know, the Middle East is right now, it's sensitive. um I don't know. It's just one of those things where, you know, if you sold a cash secure put, right, like Marie, uh, you know, you want the stock to do well tomorrow, and I think, you know, after hours we were looking strong. I think we're at 811 at this point. But this is the thing. Um, Not a lurker. Will we be printing tomorrow? It's hard to tell because I think so. But you know, the options, they stopped at like 780, right? We don't have after hours options. That's just not how the market works, because you know, Chicago is where the options kind of take place, right? Well, the Central is, and then New York Stock Exchange is kind of like the whole, you know, trading the stock itself aspect of it. So you know, the hedging is in Chicago, and then Wall Street is another beast altogether. So you know, they stop trading right at 1 p.m. That's the small window that we have when it comes to options. And as option riders, you know, it's 30 hours that we have. I do know that a lot of people, you know, they get really happy when they're like, oh, we got 5 days of trading. You know, they think in terms of like, that's, you know, 40 hours, and that's not how it works. We have from 6:30 a.m., right, to 1 p.m. Eastern, and that's it. I'm sorry, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. West Coast, and so that would be 9:30 a.m. To 4 p.m. East Coast time, right? So that's you know, 7.5 hours, you know, something like that. So I don't like it, you know. I just I I think that if we don't have some ridiculous numbers and we kill it on all metrics, we may scale back a bit. But what I really like is, I like the fact that there's so much open interest on all these options on SoFi. The 750, the $8 and the 850 options. They're somewhere between 30,000 to 50,000 in open interest, and just the volume, right? That's what really matters, is the volume. Because even if the stock is trading, you know, like at 8, 810, 850, if the volume is there, you know, to the upside, that works in our benefit. So I see SoFi, you know, if everything goes according to plan, right, and we have some ridiculous numbers, some good beat, uh, and we have good guidance, because that's honestly the key word. It's guidance when it comes to SoFi, and just any company in general at this point. Um, Guidance is the key word. So if Anthony Noto says that, you know, we're going to have positive guidance um, through 2024, we are going to go to $9. We're going to go to $10, and it's just, we need to. I just hate the Monday, right? Imagine if SoFi would have had earnings last Wednesday. We would have printed on Thursday. We would have printed on Friday. We would have sold our covered calls. Right now we'd be at $10, $11. And Monday, we, you know, given everything going on during the weekend, we could have a little scale down, but it's fine because we would have already had, you know, the earnings call, and in this news with this regional bank, you know, taken over by the Fed, it wouldn't matter really as much because we would have sold our cover calls, right? So it's just affecting us, I think. I haven't heard too much of it um, in the media, which I think it's a good thing. But what if tomorrow morning it's kind of like, you know, what's kind of like the appetite for the day, right? Like during the 24-hour news cycle, there's nothing else, and that's what they want to kind of pick on, and that's by pure coincidence that SoFi is a bank. They start saying, "Oh, SoFi had great earnings, but it's still a bank. It's in San Francisco. It's probably a regional bank." They'll start thinking of Silicon Valley, and it's a technology stock, and that's kind of where the tech aspect of SoFi hurts us. I hate the raw deal that SoFi has because we have tech, SoFi Technologies on our name, and we have bank on our name. So whenever the banks take a shit, SoFi gets hit, and whenever the tech, area that takes a hit, we get hit. So it's like taking it, the chin on both ways, and that kind of sucks. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I still, even with this little negative, albatross, kind of hovering over our heads, we are 8-11, on SoFi after hours, right? And we were bullish going into closing on Friday, and it seems like we're short term uptrending. Now, one day, 1 week does not a trend make you, but it's good to see like a nice little bit of breathing room away from 750, right? Because that's kind of been the bane of SoFi's existence, is the 750 area. That's kind of where it likes to live. Regardless of the fact, quarter 1 2024 earnings, SoFi earnings eve is today. So welcome to the channel, Mr. Premium of the Option. Welcome, brother. How you doing, man? How you doing, Nala? Mary B, thank you for watching. Yeah, I'm excited. I do know that last quarter we became gap profitable, right? So I think we're going to beat this time again. So we're gonna keep on being gap profitable. And happy Sunday, Guyo, up in the NOLA. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I'm excited because I think that SoFi may be partnering with a legacy bank, right? So word on the street is that they may be partnering with a legacy bank, and I like it. Maybe Bank of America. I also heard Citibank. It doesn't matter. It's just the pure. It's just the point that they are partnering with a legacy bank, and that automatically lends a little more of a positive outlook, right? It gives you a little more respect, so to speak. When it comes to Wall Street, because now you're not just a SoFi regional bank like most people think it is. You're now playing with the big boys, right? And I do believe, as far as the experience and as far as the positive reinforcement that clients are having when taking different those little ads that you get, pop-ups when you go, to SoFi, and says how has your experience been, right? And you do little polls. I think SoFi is one of the top 5 banks nationally as far as the positive experience. So that was one of Anthony Noto's goals, is to become, one of the top banks in the United States as far as people having to see it favorably, and it's worked. So Birdie, what's up, Birdie? Yeah, man, let's get this dinero. What's up, Malone? Yeah, man. So just by SoFi being now in the same realm as legacy banks, if they do happen to have partnering coming up with a legacy bank, that's good. That's a little more pep in our step, so to speak. And market cap top 10. Well, no. So the positive. So they've been taking these polls, right? And so um SoFi is looked at favorably by its members, and it's one of the top five banks when it comes to experience, right? They have just so many different different items that you can kind of pick from on the SOFA website, and it's kind of like a pretty easy to use operating system. People really look at it favorably, and they like the experience of when they do call in and have to get guided. It's good. SOFI has actually pretty good members, pretty good employees. I mean, and people's memberships experience are pretty good. So I like where we're going. And although we are being shorted almost 20%, when has SoFi not been shorted in the double digits, right? If anything, this can work to our advantage, because if tomorrow we say we have a triple beat, right? Say we definitely have a hat trick. Well, then people are going to want to buy. FOMO is going to kick in. I know FOMO was kicking in on Friday, right? And once SoFi gets past 830, if we can hold 830, we're going to 9, right? And once we're in the nines, I think it's 922. It's going to be tough, but I think that we may see tens. It all depends, because these shorts, they started to cover a bit on Friday, right? And I think that it would not be out of the realm of possibility for them to try to cover their ass tomorrow if SoFi gets to 9 or 10 real quick. That would be wonderful, because then we can look at where we are, and as option riders, we would definitely be looking to sell some covered calls. At least I know I will. This is not financial advice, obviously. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your stock, but I'm quite happy selling covered calls tomorrow if we see $10, $11. What I am cautious of is contagion with this little regional bank. What's up, Karim? How you doing? Testicle. When my JP Morgan topic. Okay, I'll give you that. And so Karim, what's up, brother? Birdie, what's going on, man? Good talking to you yesterday, man. My daughter's team actually they tied. It was 3-3, and it was a good game. My daughter played a tough game. I was really proud of her, and it was good to see her play. I was talking to you during kind of when they were warming up, but then I had to get off the phone because she had to begin her game. All right, so here we go. Contagion is one of the things that I'm a little nervous about. Again, but I haven't really heard much, on TV, in any of the channels, but I haven't been watching, the news 24/7 either. So I guess tomorrow, it would be a good metric, I guess, if we can just not hear much about it, and then we have really good earnings, because although we know what's going on, right? We are kind of like invested, and we have a very good pulse on, how SoFi is working and everything that's going on with the company. The street does not, and the average investor out there, especially when it comes to retail, right? It's not as educated, as some of us are when it comes to all this data, right? So if they just see contagion, they see a regional bank failure again, and then SoFi is in the news, and then they start saying SoFi had earnings, but look at what happened with this other bank. Will that affect, just them saying, will that affect SoFi? Psychology of the market, right? So then we may have, a dip. Either way, I say, Let the stock tell you what to do, right? Let the stock tell you what to do. Um, I don't think any of us watching are paper-handed weenie babies, man. I don't think any of us are short. Like everyone that I know that's on this channel right now is long on SoFi. So um, it does it really matter, if it gets a little hit or not? I don't think it does because we will be selling our calls either way. And if anything, I think we will welcome a nice little retracement, right? Because then we'll be able to buy back our covered calls, at a profit, and it's sooner rather than later. Um, Again, we don't know what is going to happen, right? But it's always good to have a plan. I do know one thing for sure, and this is for sure. Volatility is going to be high. Volatility is high. And this is exactly why I'm licking my chops to see what happens tomorrow at 8 a.m. East Coast, 5 a.m. my time, because I know that we are going to triple beat. And I just want to see how these options are going to work. I know where they closed out on Friday, and especially the Friday calls, the ones expiring, May the 3rd. They have 3 less days, so I don't know how that's going to affect next Friday's people that bought last Friday. But it's going to be a high volatility, and there were 20,000, 30,000 750s. Same for the 8s. I think there's like 50,000, so it's just one of those things where we don't know until we know, right? But have a plan. And I'm counting on the volatility aspect so that I can then sell the cover calls that I'm looking to sell. And you guys know that I like to take a big chunk. So, I know that people like Malone like to take, weeklies and bi-weeklies. We don't know how SoFi is going to react, right? We don't know if SoFi is going to crush every metric. I mean, I want it to crush every metric, but will it do that? We don't know. EPS, earnings per share expected as 1 cent, right? So, given the amount of traffic, and just given the amount of members that just seem to be adding, right? The NBA deal, that's a big deal. The PGA deal, right? That's a big deal. SoFi it has a stadium. There's so many events happening at SoFi Stadium, from Bad Bunny to Romeo Santos. And I know you guys may not know who the fuck they are, but Romeo Santos, put it like this, the highest grossing tour the last few years has not been Jay-Z or Beyonce or any of the R&Bers or rappers out there. It's actually been Romeo Santos. And we're talking, this, and obviously Taylor Swift, but Taylor Swift is national. Romeo Santos is international, right? And by him having so many concerts at SoFi Stadium, I know that's generating a lot of revenue. I know there's a lot of events with the World Cup coming up for SoFi. I mean, Super Bowls. It's just so much going on, and all that money's coming into SoFi. It's a big chunk of it is coming into SoFi just by marketing alone, right? Let's see here, dude. Let's go. Yeah, man. Looking real good. Gonna be lots of nice premiums next week. I think so. I really think we are gonna have some good premiums because there's a lot of volatility, and I think there's a lot of volume, and I think that's what we need. We just need to see what the volume is gonna look like tomorrow. I know that last time we had earnings, we had like SoFi trading 1 million a minute or something ridiculous like that. That's nuts for the first, I think, 20 minutes. 30 minutes, it was like a million a minute. That's a lot. So if we can get anywhere close to those numbers, I think we're going to 10, 11. You know, so EPS, earnings per share, they're expecting 1 cent. Given everything that's going on, given the amount of members that SoFi is going by, and the contracts they've signed, I'm gonna go and say 2 cents, man. 100% increase. I know that's a lot. You know, that's a lot. And I know that the market was expecting 6 cents, you know, the whole year for SoFi, right? But I think they're gonna crush it. And what better way would be to crush it to get 2.5 cents? Imagine we get 3 cents EPS, right? We just went through, that would be like doubling, you know, the earnings per share expectations. So like if we double that, dude, we're looking at $15 at the end of the year, you know, per share. And so I would be absolutely happy if that happened. So Alberto, you think we're gonna open at 9, hitting 11 and back to? I can see that. I can see that. We have to see where SoFi is at 5 a.m. Right? We need to see those. We need to read, right, what SoFi has been doing. We need to know what the EPS is. We need to know, you know, the lending growth. You know what the lending growth is, because at the end of the day, SoFi is a bank and they make a ton of their money through lending, right? You know, how many defaults have they had? You know, we do know that. You know, we started with the loan repayments, right? So there is no more moratorium on those. So where are we looking as far as that? How many more loans is SoFi writing, you know, this last quarter as opposed to the one before? And so it was looking like, you know, I think they were pretty conservative on those numbers, SoFi was, and saying that they were looking at a little softening on the lending aspect, right? But are we? Were they just being conservative because they want to play it off and say, hey, we don't know, but then the numbers are actually really, really good? Are we flat? You know, are we flat? If we're flat, you know, I don't think that's a loss. If we're flat, that means we're not losing, right? So by pure definition, then we're where we want to be. We're kind of where we want to be, and we may see a little bump on the next, you know, earnings. So it's all forward looking at this point, right? But we need to see where we are at this point, and that's the key. I'm very excited. I think that guidance is going to be positive. We've been killing every metric for the last 8 quarters, right? We're just having, you know, a positive outlook for the last 8 quarters, and Noto hasn't changed anything. He's saying we're still growing at, you know, the rate that we are looking at growing by, and so I just don't think we're gonna have anything, you know, extremely negative. I think we're gonna have a really good guidance. I think we're gonna have good EPS. We're gonna have I think we're gonna have flat, if not positive lending growth. And what I'm banking on, and this is just the bottom line of it all, is memberships. Okay, I think memberships are gonna go over 500,000. I think that's going to be a ridiculous number because they're expecting, what, like 400,000 or something like that, maybe 350. I don't know. I got to look at the numbers again. But I'm going to say 500,000 because of the NBA. You know, there's a SoFi logo during NBA games that raises awareness. And at the end of the day, what is it that has you go into a bank other than awareness, right? When was the last time you went into a bank? You actually call. So you call and you say, hey, SoFi, I'd like to open up an account. You go online, SoFi.com, boom, you open up an account. And it's so easy to navigate their operating system that you get to see so many more other products. You're like, well, I wanted to open up a bank account, but now I can see that I can have direct deposit. and I can have 5%, as long as I have interest, or as long as I have direct deposit through SoFi, they're gonna give me 5% interest on my money. Are you kidding me? Bank of America is giving me a whopping 1%. So is Chase. So is Wells Fargo. So that's a no-brainer to open up an account with SoFi and then have your direct deposit come through them. Are you looking for a credit card? Oh, look, SoFi has a credit card. And they're going to give me points whenever I use my credit card. Then I can use those points as cash back. And even better, if I want to open up, an account, I was looking at Robinhood, but look, SoFi does trading as well. I can buy SoFi stock with that money. It's a one-stop shop, and then it's beating a dead horse at this point, but it is what it is, right? Also, don't forget to deploy your stinkers to buy back. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I got a boatload of 8s. Cash secure puts expire in June. Buying back immediately. I would. I got cash secure puts. I got 7s expiring in January, and I got some expiring in 2026. I got over $3 for those. I think it was like $3.40 or something ridiculous, like almost 50%. That's like unheard of, and I don't know what idiot decided to take that on, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna judge somebody trying to give me 50% return on my money when I set down $7, right? So whatever. That's what they're trying to give me. I take it happily. And if we run to $10 tomorrow, bet your ass I'm going to put some stinkers and buy it back. It's exactly what we do. And then I'm going to wait for us to have on, I think April 28th or 29th is when the convertible notes are going to be a thing, right? And all that jargon is going to be in the media, and people are going to be fucking dumb and be like, oh my God, SoFi's diluting. Oh my God. And they're going to sell, especially retail. Guess who's going to be there to buy all those covered calls back and to sell some cash secure puts? This guy. And I know some of you guys are going to do the same thing. Dude, got some nice 7 cash secure puts with 19 days expiry. And short expiry is, yeah, I mean, that's cool. Easy money. I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with that at all. I just like to take a bigger chunk, and again, it's just I don't like to go so short with the cash secure puts because anything can happen. And let's say this, I mean, it probably won't, but let's say this issue with the regional bank going under, right, over the weekend, in affects SoFi, and then SoFi just drops to 7, so like, and it hovers and it goes to 650. Well, now you're kind of like, I don't know. You're kind of holding the bag at that point, right? But it doesn't really matter because you already got your premium in and you're trying to get more SoFi. So in that aspect, you didn't buy at 750, you didn't buy at 740, you're getting it under 7. I think that's great. So like, I mean, anyone that's long on SoFi, it's a gift under 7, man. Anything under 7 is a gift. So however, I think the numbers are going to be good tomorrow, right? 500,000 more members is what I'm betting on, and the web traffic, the website traffic has been ridiculous the last quarter, and I think that's kind of why, because there's more people that have opened accounts with SoFi. I think there's more people using the products, and I think that it's a very positive thing. And I think we're gonna start seeing it, in the numbers tomorrow, and I can't wait. The convertible notes effect, I think it's gonna affect SoFi May 28th or 29th or somewhere around there. I forget the exact date, but I would start looking at maybe writing some covered calls that kind of expired during those days. If not, that Friday or the Friday following that, because I think SoFi is going to take a hit. Again, it's obviously all speculation, right? Because to us, that we have this information, and then we have an Uncle Bruce that explained it to us, right? When it happened, a couple of months back, we have a good idea on how things are going to unfold, right? But not everybody has an Uncle Bruce that explains these to them. And there's other YouTubers that say that Uncle Bruce actually was very good at explaining what was going on with the convertible notes, because everything that he said it, the way he said it and the way he explained it in plain English, it made sense. And then even these other YouTubers are like, yeah, no, it was great, because they were able to like then compare and see that he is in fact correct. So not everyone has Uncle Bruce in his ears to say, hey, this is what it means. Don't sell. And why would you sell if you're long on SOFI anyways, right? But last time I checked, if you have a debt that is 15%, right, a loan, and then you have another loan that's 7.5%, and you restructure it, right, and then you end up paying to 1.5% from now on for both of those loans, and you're saving $40 million to $60 million a year. That's not bad. Or 40 to, I mean, that's just not bad at all, right? That's a win. And so that's exactly how you have to see that that convertible notes issue, is that SOFI is actually saving up to $60 million per year. That's $10 to $15 million per quarter. Now, I don't know if we're going to see that effect in this past earnings. I bet you that if we do, we're going to go through the roof, because if you save an extra $15 million, and like that's just more money in the pot, right? So that just makes SOFI that much more attractive. It's more money that they have that the company's worth. So that affects everything else. And so just your outlook now is way more positive, because then you for sure can see that that's what SOFI is saving. And in the next quarter, that's even better for us, right? So I don't know. Last time I checked, saving with loan restructuring and paying less of a percentage for your loans is a good thing, and that's where I'm at with this. Not everybody knows that. So, and I'm banking on the fact that not everybody knows that, and that retail is paper-handed. Not you guys, obviously, because we're here on a Sunday listening to my ass talk over here, even if I make no sense, right? But we are getting a better idea and understanding on, oh shit, so yeah, no, that's exactly how I see it, and then it's how it is. So I just I think it's going to be positive for SOFI, and will it cause downward pressure later on in May? I hope so. Will we see 6 again? I don't think so. If we have a very positive earnings, I think that 850 is going to be the new bottom for us, right? 6. I don't know, man. We have a good earnings and this contagion crap doesn't hit us. I don't think so. So what's up, Hot with Mike? SOFI printing premium either way. Yeah, I agree, dude. I agree. SOFI is printing. It's the people are like, oh my god, Tesla's so sexy when it comes to options. Palantir is so sexy when it comes to options. GME was so. Listen, SOFI is really good. You look at the percentage. SOFI has a higher percentage than Tesla when it comes to options. You just got to break it down and kind of put it in perspective, right? So like if you have, $160 as far as, Tesla goes, that means $16,000 for, 100 shares. And then you get those, $16,000 on SOFI. That's, way more contracts, but the contracts, when you add them, it's more than when Tesla would be giving you at that same price point, that same number. It's a higher percentage. So SOFI actually is more of a cash cow. I like the advice of having several shares, not to write on in case of a squeeze. Yeah, so this is the deal, and I was talking to Bertie on the phone about this yesterday. I so because of the short aspect of SoFi, right, and it being shorted, almost 20% at this point. Shorts have started to cover. Friday, you can see. That they kind of have started to cover a bit, but I think they're gonna get caught with their pants down because if SoFi blows out every metric and goes to $9 or $10, it's gonna squeeze a bit. I'm not saying a gamma squeeze, a bit, right? I'm not saying it's gonna go to 20, but I see it going to 12, 13 if it does squeeze a bit. Unlikely, but there's always that chance. So I'm keeping 300-400 shares of SoFi on the side that I'm not going to write anything on if we go up really fast because of that squeeze possibility, right? So if that happens and we see 15 or when I'm selling, because that's my price point. I'm looking to sell SoFi, for $15. I'm doubling my money at that point. I 100% return on investment is ridiculous, right? And I have been making money with covered calls. So now I'm not taking into account the percentage that I've gotten. I think I've made over $50,000 on covered calls alone on SoFi in the last 2 years, which is something insane because it hasn't moved. But that's exactly why, because it hasn't moved. However, I am totally okay letting go of SoFi at $15 right now, because of what's going to happen in late May, right? Hybrid, ¿qué pasa, brother? How you doing, man? So I'm totally okay letting go of SoFi at 15, and that's just why I'm holding. I got some AI on the side. I have some Rivian on the side and some SoFi because they're heavily shorted. They're heavily shorted stock, and there's always that possibility. And so why not? Why not? Take advantage of it. And if we hit $14, I'll sell 100. $15, I'll sell 100. And then I'll see if we see 16, I'll sell another 100, and then I'll wait till 20. If that doesn't happen, then we have to come back down something and cool off. Then I'm selling at 15 again, or 14 or 13. But the whole point is that at that point, I would have deployed my covered calls, and I'd sell my SoFi. I'm just not married to the stock. I don't have any type of emotional attachment, and I think that's where people get caught with their pants down. I stopped having an emotional attachment when I started saying my stock. When I would stop saying my stock, it's not my stock. Like, I don't have anything here. Like, I can't. It's not tangent, right? It's not tangible. Like, I don't like. It's not here. Like this water, it's not here. So like I don't have a problem selling SoFi at $15, 14, $13 at all. Now, can it happen? There's always that possibility, which is why I'm personally holding a few hundred shares, kind of on the side. Will it happen? We don't know. If I see that, we don't go past 10, for the day, and then the next day we're still hovering in the 10 area and we start retracing, I'm just going to sell those as covered calls. Maybe I'll leave 100 or 200. I don't know yet. I'll let the stock tell me what to do, right? Because at that point I'm gambling, right? So like I don't want to do that. Nice. Don't fear the upside, folks. Lessons we should remember. We know this stock, we know the free float. Yeah, no, I'm with you, dude. It's just, we don't fear the upside, and that's the bottom line. Let the stock go to $20 because I can always roll later on, right? And that's just the bottom line. It's like I'm just gonna let the stock tell me what to do, and if I have to roll, in late May or June or July, my 12s to 15s or 15s to 17s, 20s, 18s, whatever, I'll just do that. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's making money. That is the key point for anybody that's investing on SoFi, right? And like as long as I'm making money, I don't care whether I'm selling at 16 or 20, whatever. It's all positive because my average is like now at this point like in the sevens. So I'm totally okay with that. So AI is 30% shorted, right? AI is 30% shorted. I just don't see I don't see anything happening. We were at 24%, right, with SOFI, and nothing happened. So we don't know. But we don't know how the stock is going to react tomorrow either. So at that point, I'll kind of make my decision then. What do I know? As far as where SoFi is going and how positive of an outlook I have with them and why I'm so bullish on it, do I know for a fact SoFi is going to be $15 come January? Do I know it's going to see $12 tomorrow? I don't know that, right? Here's what I do know. I do know that Chase is closing branches. I know that for a fact because I know Chase is closing branches. I know Bank of America is closing branches. Wells Fargo is closing branches. Why is that? It's expensive to have a bank, right? You have to deal with the real estate. And right now there's like especially when it comes to downtowns everywhere, right? It's expensive real estate. And if you're losing money, it only makes sense that you start closing down branches. They're losing membership. I know that. You know why I know that? Because SoFi's membership is going up. And that's where they're taking from. Now, they're not going to flat out go on and say, SoFi's taking our clientele because they don't know for a fact. But I know Chase is losing membership. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, every legacy bank, mortar and brick, is losing membership. And who's gaining it? SoFi, because we're able to see that they're gaining 300,000, 400,000 members per quarter. And we know that for a fact. That's what I do know. Let's see. It's Ryan. What kind of a percentage in writing cover calls on SoFi you're looking for? What do you mean as far as the percentage? Like how much I'm trying to get on the cover call itself? The premium or until expiry or before I buy back? If you can clarify that, that'd be cool. I sell one or two strikes above the price point. I don't know if that helps you any. And the premium, I do stinks. I do stinkers, man. I do stink asks. If it's at 175, I'll ask for 195, 199. If it's at $1.15, I'll ask for 135, and I'll see where it's at. And I'll see where it starts hitting kind of a wall, right, or a ceiling, if you will. And then I'll make a plan accordingly. Dude, if we get anything, it'll be a gamma squeeze. Yeah, I think so. Gamma would be good, which is short-lived usually. The real catalyst will be booked in the market cap of the stock. Yeah, no, I agree. We have a ways to go before S&P 500 is even possible. Yeah, no, there's a lot of people that say, SoFi is going to be in the S&P 500 in the next 2 quarters. You need 4 positive quarters, right, to be included. And then I just don't think we're there, man. I think SoFi is going to get included into the S&P 500 whenever they are $20 or more a share. When EPS is, 50 cents, 60 cents. When they start cannibalizing their peers. For example, like a new bank, right? Or a Robinhood. Although I don't see why they would. I'm just, playing devil's advocate here. But, if those two merged, that would be insane. Because they would have access to so many more members right off the bat and, that much more capital, right? So I mean, um, there's so many different digital, um, you know, digital upstarts at this point, right? That it would be it just it would be great to start cannibalizing all these companies, um, all these digital credit, lenders and stuff, because that's when the street is gonna say, SoFi is for real. That's what Amazon did, right? They just started cannibalizing their peers, and once it started taking off, and it became, when the street really paid attention, right, is when it's just fucking started taking over everything, and you realize that Amazon does everything. And once they took over Whole Foods, you're like, oh shit, because you didn't think of Amazon, kind of in like the grocery part of, like, of tech, if you will, right? Like, you didn't think of them like that, but now, like, it's a thing. You can go to Whole Foods, and if you have something in return when it comes to, like, your Amazon items that are sent, you can just return it to any Whole Foods that's next to you or close to you, right? You don't have to go to UPS. You don't have to go and spend your money, sending anything back. You can just go to Whole Foods and drop it in their bin and get your little digital code, and you get your money back. It's that simple. You don't like something, return it. And so I think that once SoFi starts doing that, it'll be a thing. It'll really get looked at by the street, and but at that point, I don't think we'll be $20 a share. At that point, I think we'll be like more $30 to $40 a share or more, because then you really are gonna be onto some FOMO, right? And that's kind of what that's kind of what we're hoping for, but we're a long ways for that, right? Like, we are gonna need like a bullish market at that point, and the market at this point is slightly bearish. I've been saying that for a few months now, and although we do have upticks, right? Like this past week, overall, people are selling off, right? So that's kind of where I see as far as that S&P 500 talk. I wouldn't, I don't want to start looking into that just yet. Like, it's not possible at this point. Yeah, always be writing, Poto. I agree, man. Just always be writing. It doesn't matter but that's the whole point, right? It doesn't matter whether we're 9 or 10 or 20 or $30. We're stockholders long term. And say you sell 20s, for 2026, and in 2026 SoFi's $30. Well, then you could roll your 20s to 23s, 25s, and then wait, because that's what we do, right? Like, the main our greatest tool is time, right? And patience. And that's one of the things that I need to just really hammer home, is some people get very impatient, but the market, it rewards those people who are patient, right? And don't get caught with your pants down and sell during some, like, event like this past week. Like, a lot of people sold Tesla, like, on Monday, Tuesday, right? And then fucking, like, I bought some Tesla at 139.95, and it was insane because it went there. I didn't think it was going to, but it did. I didn't think it was going to hit the 30s for another week or two, or maybe longer if we had bad numbers, but it went to the 30s, and then we had great numbers, and it just, I'm looking to sell my next cover call soon, because I'm selling bi-weeklies with it, and I'm going to make a nice chunk of change. But anyways, that's besides the point. Sticking with SoFi, let's see what you said. Always be right. Yes, always be writing. Percentage of premium versus the capital. Well, okay. So the way that I write is, if my total number of average for SOFI is like, 791, right? And I hold 14,000 shares. Then anything above 790s is a win for me, right? So selling at 9, it's good for me because anything above 790s is a win. So that would be 15%, right, roughly. But I like longer term calls. I like selling for 50% more. I don't know if that's kind of the answer you're looking for. Like if I got something of average 8, right? Say SoFi's 8, like for just fucking argument's sake. And I will totally sell $12 covered calls, and take 50% of what the underlying is cost base is, right? And so and then my premium, I don't know what the premium is gonna be like tomorrow, right? But that's the number I look at is selling for 50% more of what I bought, and then the premium is icing on the cake. I like the number I have in mind is more than $1. So like if I can get $1 for every share, that's great. If I can get 50% of my of what the stock is worth to me, come whenever it is that I sell. So right now at this point, I'm looking at January 2025, and so like I sell 12s, and that brings me 50% to the upside, right? In addition to the premium. So the premium I'm looking at $1.25 maybe. So if you combine that, that's we're looking at 70%, right? I don't know if that satisfies your question, but that's kind of what I look at. It's like I don't have like some people are like I'll do 5% or 10%. Like as long as I make money, right, and I'm satisfied with that number and the number that I sell, I'm okay with that. I'm not a fan of like someone that has a $10 stock and sells covered calls for 8 or 9, and let's say those shares get called and you got 50-cent premiums. You just lost 50 cents, right? So if you multiply that by however many stock you have, well, that's how much you lost. So I'm not in the game of losing. Now listen, I do know that you should always be writing, right? But you have to be smart. It makes no sense to me for someone that had GME at $30 to be selling 10s at this point, because you're taking a massive loss. Unless you want to use it for like tax loss harvesting, that's the whole thing all different together, right? But I would not do that. What I would do is I would sell covered calls on other stock that I hold, like SOFI or AI, Unity, Roblox, right? And I would take that premium because I'm already ahead on that stock, right? Like I know I will be making off like a bandit, quite really, with that stock. But I'll take that premium and then I'll buy GME so that I can average down. So once I get now to, let's say, 13, 15, then I will sell 15s for like a year out and then collect premium, because then I'm recouping my money and then I'm collecting more premium on top of that. And that's kind of, I don't sell weeklies. So I don't sell weeklies. I just don't do that. I don't sell bi-weeklies. I mean, I guess I do with, it depends on the stock, right? But like SoFi, that's not what I do. I like to take big chunks, and because I like to take advantage of the high volatility right before earnings. That IV crush fucking condenses fast, especially after earnings. So like, let's say I take a big chunk of like $3 or $2 by going a few months down, right? Well, that $3 is going to become $1 very quickly because of earnings, right? Now, they could have a fucking massive earnings where like and everybody's FOMOing, and they keep adding. Well, then I'll keep rolling, and I've been like right now. I have some AIs that I rolled for 37.50, and I ended up taking big chunks. I think I took like an $8 to go to like $8 to sell for 2024 or 2025, and then it ran up, and then I took another $3 to roll to like 2026. So like I'm already ahead, and then I'm just gonna let those keep squeezing because those eights are now like 350, I think, or something like that. I'm gonna buy them back like at $1, and that's what I'm looking at, that $1.50. So but again, I never will sell a stock for less than what I bought it for, and if I have to, hold on writing because I'm so underwater or I'm so below that average, and I just average down. I did that with Matterport, and it ended up being beautiful, because like I have, oh my God, almost 20,000 shares, and my average was like in the 280s, I think, or something, and I no, I think less, and I'm just gonna double my money at this point, right? And it's just beautiful. And I just sold some covered calls on that because I don't care. Take it for 550. If somebody wants to give me premium to buy Matterport, at 550 on January, be my guest. I took 15 cents per contract. Now you multiply that, so it's just like that's free money, and that's money that I used to buy. I think I bought some cash here, put some SOFI, and I bought more SOFI. I bought more RX. I mean, that's another company you guys could look at. It's got pretty high volatility, and it's got good premiums. RX, Recursion Pharmaceuticals. It's a pretty good company. I like it. I actually sat down on their yearly meeting, and they're going places. They've just been caught kind of in the ether of shit, but it's right now it's $7 a share, I think, or $8. And it's just ripe, to probably take off again. But anyways, that's besides the point. SoFi, I know they're closing branches, right? Bank of America and Chase and all of them. So like, I have a very positive outlook on SoFi, just given the fact that so many other legacy banks are closing shop. And that's, to me, that's encouraging because SoFi is taking a lot of those members. Those analysts are going to be key, especially tomorrow, Monday. And it depends on how much Noto goes and does his rounds, right? On CNBC and Fox Business and Bloomberg, right? And it's just going to be one of those things where he's got to do the dance, man. And that's why it's so key to have a fucking respectable CEO that is no bullshit and is all business, because you have to have your peers respect, right? And based on wherever they're at on tomorrow, and he does his rounds, we could very well have some upticks. I've sold covered calls, 5 minutes within Noto being on CNBC and saying some very positive things, and the stock goes up, 50 cents, 70 cents. Just on people just watching, the news and listening to this guy talk and saying, shit, let me get some SoFi. And they'll buy SoFi, and then the fucking stock goes up for like 15 minutes, an hour, and then I sell my covered calls, and then the stock comes back down, and I buy back the covered calls, and then rinse and repeat. But the analysts are going to be key. Now, there's analysts that have SoFi anywhere from $3 to $14, right? And whether we like it or not, the Chia Pet has a $3 strike or target. I don't know what his, personal vendetta is. I don't know if it's personal at all. Maybe that's what he's seen and he's just bullish on it, or he's just bearish on it. But there's other analysts that have SoFi at 14, right? This guy, with Wedbush, Chiaverini, right? The Chia Pet. What if he comes out and based on the metrics that he sees tomorrow, he says, you know what? SoFi is $5 now. I've softened my stance, right? That would be good for us. Although it's not where we want it to be, it's not $3 now. So now the average will go up because the shortest, right, the lowest price point that an analyst has given it would be 5 instead of 3. So then the average comes up, right? And so now somebody else comes on the other end from Citibank or from Misuo or something and says, hey, SoFi's $20 based on what we see. Well, now the average went up even more. So it's one of those things where, you have to, are you really going to care what an analyst says though? Like it's just, they could say good things, they could say bad things. But at the end of the day, if you're long on the stock, does it really matter to you what an analyst from a fucking competing bank is saying? Does that matter? I don't think it does, not to me. Do I give a fuck of what, fucking Johnson from Bank of America says about SoFi and how it's a $9 company? Oh yeah, I'm sure they have no fucking they have no axe to grind, right? So like it's just one of those things where you have to take it with a grain of salt. And at the end of the day, where do you see SoFi going? You have to fucking put your nuts to the wall at some point and make a commitment and say, I'm here for the long haul, or I'm just here, to make a few dollars during this quarter and it's not where I want to be. SoFi's been doing this for a few years and I want to put my money on Tesla. It's all good. They look 23 years old. Yeah, these guys are young, right? But the street does listen to them. That's the thing. We may not like these analysts, right? But they do have a following, right? And if their following is 1 million people, 500,000 people, and those people are like, oh, I don't like SoFi, what can you do? Like it shouldn't matter what they feel because the metrics, SoFi up and down, right? You've done the reading, you've read the prospectus. So it's just all on you at this point, and then just kind of say, you know what, I'm either gonna buy more shares, I'm gonna hold, I'm gonna sell. It's all up to you. Everything depends on the volume, right? Tomorrow it all depends on the volume. Let's look at the open interest, right? Like I said, May 3rd, the interest is looking kind of crazy when it comes to the open interest on the 750s, 8s, and 850s. And hopefully tomorrow, given the information we're given, those are going to jump and skyrocket. So that would be good for the stock. That would be good for us. That would be good for the FOMO. And I would love it because I like to sell some covered calls, right? I see a mini squeeze happening. A mini squeeze if everything happens the right way and everything that I think is going to go positive goes positive. But I had contingency plans, and at the end of the day, that's what you need to do. Is you need to sit down and write down fucking so that yes, tomorrow when things are happening, look at the open interest, look at the covered calls that you can sell, look at the dates, and say this is where I want to sell. This is it. This is my plan. This is what I'm looking to buy. What is your risk tolerance? Are you going to sell at 10? Are you willing to sell at 9? Will you be making money? Is your average 580, 550? Is your average 6? And if you sell at 10, that's a fucking win. If you sold, you bought in at 450 and you sell at 9, you're 100% in. You're good. You made 100% back. That's a win. If you're at 5 and you sell at 10, again, that's 100. So that's just a beautiful thing to me. It's just, it depends on, again, your risk tolerance and then whether you want to jump in after selling, or selling covered calls, whatever you want to do. Mr. Poto saying, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some more hit pieces coming tonight and tomorrow morning. I don't think so, man. I'm more nervous. I'm more nervous about this regional bank taking it in the chin and going under. I'm a little more nervous about that than I am a hit piece, because what is the Chia Pet gonna say? Like it's a $2 stock? He can't say that because it's fucking more expensive than when he had a $3 target. So it makes no sense. the underlying is having, another killer quarter where they kill all metrics, and the forward looking statements, forward looking, um, uh, just the rationale aspect, right? Letting you know that going forward, it's a lot more positive than not, and they're looking to make more money than this quarter that just happened. I mean, that's just a given that the stock is worth more. So, I don't think a $2 hit piece would do anything. I don't. A $4, $5. I mean, soft stance would, it doesn't really matter right now. I don't think it'll. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal, unless they say, "Holy shit!" Again, based on the contagion, and someone comes up with a $1 fucking price tag. That would suck so bad. But I don't see that happening. What will happen? Anything of the above that I just mentioned can happen, right? And or nothing can happen. It could trade sideways, right? Or we can have some ridiculously just bad earnings, and we go to 5 or 6. Have a plan, right? What will happen? We don't know. I do know one thing, and this is fact, 100%, is that SOFI is 8.12 right now. That's what it closed at after hours. That's where we're at, and we won't know anymore until pre-market opens, right, at 4 a.m. East Coast time. That's all we know. So given that we know that, I advise you not to get paralyzed. I advise you to grab a pen and paper or pencil and paper, right, and have a plan. Write down, what price point are you okay selling SOFI at? Remember, and don't forget. Some people forget this, but if you sell, let's say, at $13, right, and the stock goes down after you sold, and you buy back within 30 days, then you cannot use that as tax loss harvesting. Just keep that in mind, okay? So you're shit the bed there. If you took a hit, if you wait to day 31 and then jump in, and then you buy at less than where you sold, then you can use the stock, that you lost money on as a tax loss harvest. And just keep that in mind. And that's another of the reasons why I'd be totally okay selling at 12, because I was buying at 18, I was buying at 17, I was buying at 10, at 12, at 15, so it's first in, first out, right? So I get, well, it depends on your broker. Actually, I think you could kind of talk to your broker and do like last in, first out too. But again, tax loss harvesting would dictate that you started buying when it was a lot more than it is now, right? So I would be totally okay selling at 12 and then taking that nice little tax loss harvest, because I know next year I'm gonna take it in the chin when it comes to taxes. It's been going good as far as cover calls and all that good stuff. So I'm looking to pay quite a bit of chunk of change next year. Any tax loss harvesting would be welcome. So, and even if I get taken out with I think Matterport is going to help a lot, because Matterport I was buying, again at 18 too. So yeah, good thing you can carry it over. Let's see, what is Ryan saying? Hybrid. All the $8 calls on Friday and worthless because after hours went past it. No, it doesn't count after hours unless they exercise. So unless they exercise, it's the way that the options market works, right? It was 780 was the number, and that's the number. Now, if somebody decided, I bought some 8s, I want to exercise. Well, then you gotta call your broker, right? And I just don't think that many people did that. Hybrid Duncan, shit 6. I know, right? It's Ryan. Wish I could have DCA with you guys. I got caught on the space and smacked down 2016, but 100 Tesla at 132 a year, trying to get back up in the dry powder, doing credit spreads on Nvidia. You know what, man? It happens, bro. You're not gonna win them all. And I know I've been actually pretty lucky this year that I've actually have a really good record, and I haven't taken it on the chin as much as I did last year. And I'm very scared because one, I'm either getting really good at this shit, or two, I'm just getting lucky, right? And so but luck favors those that are prepared, right? So just dude, as long as you keep selling covered calls, and ask for more than what you paid, you should be good. And it takes time. It takes time. I just, I went from doing, 1, 2, 3 covered calls to 10, 15, and then I started doing, once I started doing over 100, dude, you see a big change and a big jump, and the premiums get super juicy. And even if you collect 15 cents, 50 cents, 30 cents, it's still in the thousands. So you're like, shit, and then you buy back. If there's a retracement at 20, 30%, you say you took in $15,000 selling some some SOFI 7s, right? And then you bought back at 40% less, that's like 40% of $15,000. That's several $1,000s. And then for a couple of weeks of someone holding my stock, that's beautiful to me. What's up, Beach Boy? Yeah, buddy. I thought you were gonna come in earlier, man. I have must gotten you in selling, huh? I'm gonna set Stinky's sell upwards, maybe 33 at a time. Sorry, every dunk. I like it. Back from vacay, ready to sing for SoFi, baby. Yeah, man. I'm ready tomorrow, man. I'm ready now. But I'm ready for tomorrow for sure. Yeah, no, it's dude is right, Ryan. You got time and knowledge, and it just this is one of the things that Uncle Bruce keeps saying, and I agree with him. It's like, there's a lot of people that have degrees and then that have Ivy League degrees, and they're working at amazing outfits like Bloomberg or J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, but these guys are 30 years old, right? And they had never seen a bank run. I had never seen a bank run. I didn't know how vicious bank runs can be, and how just fucking the swings are fucking insane. And I've heard of them, I read in books, right? But until you go through it, you don't know. So it's like, it's experience. It's one of those things that only getting smacked in the fucking jaw, you didn't get punched in the face. It's you learn, right? Some people are, when things are going right in books and everything's great, and then a fucking massive drop happens and they get paralyzed. They don't know what to do. I've done it. It happened to me. And I get paralyzed and I don't know what to do. And now, that's why I say, sit down, write on a piece of paper what your target is. Look at premiums, look at different strikes, look at different dates, look at open interest. What would you be okay letting, SoFi go at if you were to have those shares called? Would you buy right off the bat? Would you buy at more than what you sold? Would you go to market, or would you wait? I personally would wait for May 28th, May 29th, and see how the convertible notes, spiel affects the market and affects SoFi in general, right? Nobody knows what will happen, but just having a plan is going to help. If it goes up, what is your plan? If we see $10, $11, $12, what is your plan? If we see $7, $6, what is your plan? You have to think in all aspects, right? You got to cover your ass and be like, hey, I have cash secure puts here. I'm going to buy them back as soon as SoFi goes to 10, 11. Well, am I going to cross my arms and do nothing because I just want that stock? I sold covered calls, or I'm going to sell covered calls at this point. Am I going to buy them back at 40% if it drops in 2 days? Am I going to buy them at 50, or will I just fucking leave them alone and let SoFi go to 5 and then or 6 and then buy back then and then sell again, and then use that premium to average down. You have to have a plan. It just helps to have a plan. Don't get paralyzed. And that's my if you can get like anything out of today, it's just don't get paralyzed. Don't get caught with your pants down. Because it's one of those things that happens. And either if whether the stock is going up really fast or down really fast, you're like, shit, have a plan and write it down so you're able to like look at it. Because if the stock is going down really fast, right, and then you're gonna be hard to react, put in a stink bid, right? And do it on the other end too. Put in a stink ask and then just cover yourself. Hat trick, right, is what I see when it comes to SoFi. I see them having a triple beat. I really like what I see. I really like where we ended up on Friday. I'm very excited to see where we're gonna be tomorrow morning. Probably gonna set my alarm clock to 4:30 in the morning. Which is gonna be 7:30 East Coast, right? But I'm just I already told my wife that we're gonna get everything ready for the kids tomorrow, and then I'm gonna have her portfolio kind of setting over here and her phone too, and I'm gonna have my portfolio up on this laptop and this iPad, and I'm gonna be a madman tomorrow. And based on what we see at 5 a.m., I'm gonna start deploying stink bids and stink asks, even before we open. And that's one of the things you have to also take into consideration is that based on where the stock was on Friday, do the math in your head and be like, if we were at, $8, $7.80, and these calls here were, $1, then if we're at $8.80, then it only makes sense that I ask for this, right? Because we may go to 9, so I'm going to ask for this. Conversely, right, if we were here at 780 at close, and the stock takes a beat down, and you're like, shit, I'm gonna sell some cover calls here at this price point. I'll be okay taking in this premium if I had to get SoFi taken out of this strike on this date. It's just one of those things that you know what what your points are, right? Have a contingency plan, and based on what your level is of like risk tolerance, right? Are you gonna bite the bullet? Are you gonna get out? Are you going to? It's okay selling. And then jumping ship if you're at $5 average and it goes to 7.30 and then you see a drop and you just sell. But do keep in mind, right? Are we gonna stay there, 30 days from now? And if you come back in later on, are you gonna jump in, at 8 and then you're gonna not be, I don't know. It's one of those things that you have to weigh, what your risk tolerance is, and kind of make a plan. An escape plan, if you will, if that's the route you want to take, or if you want to deploy stinkers, that's another thing that you have to look at. What's with the shirt details? We need. Oh, this Bowser, man, that's from Super Mario Brothers, bro. So my son, his 5th birthday, he wanted a Super Mario Brothers theme, and so he got the Mario shirt, and my other son got the Luigi shirt because obviously they're brothers. My daughter got the Princess Peach shirt, and my wife got the Daisy shirt, and I got the Bowser shirt. So there's no hidden meaning to that. But yeah, if you have to pay tax when making money, and don't worry about worry about losing money, not the tax man. Yeah, I agree. I don't worry about the tax anymore because my wife does our taxes, and she'll find fucking some law from like 1800s, that correlates to our specific case, and she'll fucking write down whatever she has to write down, and she has the receipts, And Uncle Sam likes to watch the receipts. I really do want us to get called in, because I just want to see her and this IRS person go at it. My wife's an MBA, so like I want to see all that money spent, come into fruition, and I want to see a battle of the Titans. Like I want her to get like the most hard-headed fucking, like smart person, because I want to see her go at it and just fucking let them. My wife's really smart, so like I want her to like just make them look dumb. I don't know. No worries. Ryan is saying it's Ryan. No worries. It has just a bad thing, and the bag holding ones had the Matterport and SoFi run ups. Thoughts on AI. Super Mario rocks. Super Mario does rock. We actually play as a family. We have the Wii. The Nintendo DS. I'm sorry, it's the Nintendo DS, and we set the little thing, and we have the 4 remotes, so all 4 of us play at some point, and it's kind of fun. Yeah, no, Ryan, you know what? It's one of those things where, dude, I kept telling people to average down on Matterport, just because Matterport, just like Tesla is not a car company, Matterport is not just like a digital twins company, not just real estate, I mean, right? There's so much more. And there's a lot of Saudi in investments that were going into Matterport. There was no way they were going to let it go, for what it was. And I just averaged down because I was just like, I need to average down. So I was thinking it was going to go to I thought it was going to go to 5, probably next year. And I was going to keep selling covered calls. Matter of fact, I have been selling covered calls on Matterport. I was selling 250s and 3s. And, on like, 20,000 shares, you can make a lot of money. Even if it's like, 30 cents, 35 cents, Let's see here. Mario Kart is awesome to play with. It is. It really is, man. I really like it. My kids, they have a ball, and then it's just one of those things where I just I've been one of the few lucky people that have actually left the job site, right? And kind of just started taking like just specific calls, doing the same thing I was doing with my company, which really bothers me because if they would have just given me more money, I would have stayed. But they were fucking so stingy. And then now I go and they pay me 3 times what I used to make, and I make my own fucking schedule. And whenever they have like a high-end client, I only work with high-end clients. I don't work with stupid people, right? I don't teach anybody, which is great. I don't have to take anyone under my wing. Like I just go and I'm an asshole and I'll just, I do what I do. I do it great. You pay me money and I'm a merc, right? So I'm a mercenary. Like you're gonna pay me a lot of money. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna do this job. Once I'm done, I'm done. I go home. So sometimes, I'll go and I'll finish up in an hour or 2 hours, and they gotta pay me for the whole day. And they have to pay me, vacation in conjunction with like medical, and it's a beautiful thing, man. And it's just, I work fucking 30% or 20% of what I used to work, and I make more money, and I get to have all this time with my family, man. And I think one of the reasons is because I now have more freedom because I'm making money in the stock market. And it's hard to see when you're selling 5 covered calls. But like I said, just grind away. Keep adding. Keep averaging down. Keep adding. Keep averaging down. And not just on one stock, on all of them. And that's one of the things where it was a little frustrating because it took me a year or more actually to average down on SoFi, on Matterport, right? And then AI, then Palantir, then Unity. But I just averaged down, I took loans on my credit, and I took out loans, and whenever there was like a big tanking in the market, I would just, go on. I hate going on margin. I'm not a fan, but I would go on margin, and I would then buy whatever it is that have tanked, and then the loans that I took out, I would then take and paid that margin down within a week. So like that's kind of like the dance I've been doing. My wife did the same thing, and it works, but you have to have a plan, right? I just took, $20,000 on a credit card. I paid $500, and I didn't have 0% APR for, it's a credit balance transfer, and it's like a 20,000 check that I write myself, right? And then it takes like a few days for my bank to process it. But I've already taken out the money through Robinhood or through Webull or through Charles Schwab, or through Fidelity, right? And that margin has been taken, and I just average down, and then once that money comes in from the bank and it clears, then it goes straight into, whatever brokerage, we took out that margin from. But that's kind of what I did. And at some point I was nervous, because what I was doing at some point was actually taking out those loans, to pay down the principal on the house. And I brought it down because the interest, I would just pay principal, in addition to, the mortgage. And that considerably brought down the amount of interest we have to pay. And it's just, I recommend anyone does that. If you have, a $1 million, $500,000 loan, or $400,000, whatever, fucking take $10,000, $20,000 and then straight go into the principal. Because even if you have to pay, a percentage for the loan, it's still not going to be as high as the amount that you're paying now, on interest, for your mortgage. It works. It really works. I do not owe you a wrench, Lurker. I really don't. I really don't. I listened to you on Matterport, average down. Good. I'm glad you did, dude. Because now look at you. You're sitting pretty. I'm sitting pretty. I can't wait for someone to take those shares away. And I already be looking at that company and looking at their options chain. As soon as that change happens, if someone doesn't take my my Matterport away for 550, for and exercises that 2025 contracts, then I will happily start writing covered calls on that company. I think I'll get like 600, 700 shares or something like that. I don't know. I can't do the math. So if you use Margin Smart, it can be a real asset. I agree. Yes, it can. So like I just use Margin to buy back covered calls, and I sell covered calls right away, and then that margin gets fucking worked out. I just don't want to. I don't like to. I don't ever. I just heard horror stories, and I just use it like as a last resort tool, like I said. But I have to have a plan, and like I just within the week I'm settled. I think I've gone 2 weeks before the most. But like I just honestly, I'm all stock. I'm a big fan of just stock. Just buy the stock, gobble it up, and then use those use the cover call money to pay off the loan. That's why I like to take big chunks. Let's see here. Premiums got juicy. It's Ryan. I meant when SOFI and Matterport ran up to 20 and then crashed, back holding since, followed into AI. Well, you guys, those premiums got juicy. You can still do it, man. Just keep averaging down. I mean, sell cash secure puts on AI. Get $20, sell the $20 cash secure puts, and put $2,000 away for 2025 and ask for $4. Ask for $5. That's getting 25% return on your money. To just fucking put it in a side. That's nothing wrong with that. And if for some reasons you get taken out, then you just bought AI at $15. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And you definitely average down. All right. Same thing with SOFI, cash secure puts. If we tank to like 6s, fucking go and buy fucking 1,000 shares. Average down. So yeah, man. Let's see here. What will I do personally? SoFi beats expectations again, right? What do I think is going to happen? I see SoFi going to $9, $10, right? I see SoFi going to $9, $10 if we hit a hat trick. And what am I going to do? Um, what do we all do, right? I sell covered calls, baby. I just have to see what premiums are juicy. I have to get a big chunk, of I have to get a big chunk of premium. And I'm looking at selling, for 2025, maybe October 2024. It all depends. I like to sell, if it's like a nice chunk and I'm down kind of close to the money. I like to sell 3 months out because that's next quarter earnings, right? And I told you guys, so in May, late May, we're gonna hit that wall, and I honestly see some negative FUD because of the convertible notes, and people are not gonna kind of know how to deal with that and read that, right? And they're gonna just sell, especially retail. And so I'm looking to buy back some covered calls then. So I may sell some Junes. It just depends on where we are in the morning, right? Like, will we be at 8:50? Are we gonna be at 9? I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I do know for a fact that I'm gonna sell covered calls, and I see us going to $9 to $10. SoFi is a 10-year investment for me, right? So it doesn't matter whether SoFi, blows it out of the water on this one or barely squeaks by. It doesn't matter, right? And if you're long on SoFi, it shouldn't matter to you. Whether the analysts are bullish or bearish doesn't really fucking matter to you. Is it gonna really move the needle? If somebody says SoFi is $4, $3, is it gonna matter to you and you're gonna sell all your stock? I don't think so. And so that's one of the things you have to take into account. I'm gonna let SoFi tell me what to do tomorrow. SoFi, it could be the next JP Morgan. It can be the next Amazon of fintechs, right? It could be the fintech. It all depends on time. It all depends on the market and how well it is guided. We have great people at the helm of SoFi. I see us tomorrow at 2.5 cents EPS, right? I see us at 2.5 cents. The street is saying 1. I think that's very conservative. Some people are saying 2, and they're bullish. I'm very bullish, and I think we'll see a 2.5 cent, EPS. And I think that the street was looking for 6 cents for the year. I think we're gonna be at 2.5 and knock almost 50% of that tomorrow. I think we are going to expand by 500,000 members, if not more, because of the NBA contract we have now, and because of the PGA personality that's now associated with SoFi, who's a millennial. That's what SoFi is going for, is the millennials and Gen Xers, right? People that haven't gone to the bank in years. And people have started to pay back their student loans. And that's going to be now, what SoFi is going to be seeing tomorrow. Have they made more loans available to people? How many more products, do they have available? And have they have they really like worked their magic on and have really seen numbers increase? I'm very excited, man. I'm very excited for tomorrow. I think that we are on the verge of being, a $9, $10 stock. And I think that the bottom of that is going to become, instead of 7, it's probably going to be 8.50. I think that's going to be our new floor. I'm really looking forward to where we're going. I think at the end of the year, if things are going well, SoFi may be $12. You know, covered calls. What am I looking at? I'm looking at 10s. You know, I'm looking at 9s. I'm looking at 12s. It depends on what the stock does, right? So I think that that's kind of like a good benchmark. Let's see. I have no idea. Not a lurker. I have no idea. Tivas, Stock Goat, Uncle Bruce. Not sure if Danny will be on tomorrow. Man, what's up with Danny? He hasn't made videos in the last 2 weeks. I'm worried about the guy, but I do know that he does taxes for a living, so he's probably pretty fucking busy right now. He was at the beach. That lucky son of a bitch at the beach while we were over here fucking sweating balls and fucking nervous wrecks when it comes to SoFi. I heard he's 1,000 leaps in. That's fucking insane. But good for you, Danny. You know, hopefully he watches a little bit of this and, you know, he agrees with some of the shit I say. Maybe he'll disagree with a lot. But, you know, I like the guy. Hopefully he'll be on tonight. Lurker, maybe you can give him a call and tell him I'm talking shit about him so that he can respond. I think that would work. Be like, you know, Savage said you're full of shit. You know, fuck that. Go say something. Let's poke the bear. So yeah, I like the guy, man, and I think that he's definitely heavily invested in on a positive you know, hat trick tomorrow, and I think he sees what I see. He sees all the metrics. AI has a great options chain. I'm in 2250s, 54 days right now. Got $5 per contract. Shrinkage. I like it, dude. You're there, man. That's exactly it. You know, go 2-3 months out, get $4, $5. That's the way you do it. You know, dude. Anything around $20 is a fucking buy at AI. I said no brainer. You know, I bought at 10. I bought at 11 and 12. So like, I'm really like, my average is 14. But like, I'm okay selling cash secure puts for 2026. I think I sold like a $20, $22.50 cash secure puts for $8 like a couple of months back or something. Some ridiculous. And they gave me $8. It's just fucking insane. But like, that's what AI does. AI does AI things, right? Back to SoFi though. I know that we like to talk about the Savage 10, right? But like, I like Palantir. Palantir's cool. AI's cool. Unity's cool. You know, Roblox. You know, those are all good companies. We're gonna see a little green. But like, honestly, do we give a fuck? It's SoFi, man. It's SoFi. That's the flavor of the day tomorrow and of the week even. And let's make some fucking money, man. Make a plan. All right, write down the strikes that you're looking at, selling covered calls, right? Write down what number you be okay getting taken out at. And if you get taken out, boo fucking who? You made money. What's the problem with that? Nothing. So you know, get some premium, get some big chunk of change. You know, like make the fucking stock work for you. Right? That's ultimately why you bought the stock, so you can make some fucking money. Make some fucking money. You know, I'm looking to sell 150 fucking contracts and get $2 per contract so I can take $30,000 fucking dollars and go to Tahoe with my family next month. That's what I want. All right? I'm going to make some fucking reservations for the Waldorf Astoria so my wife can have a great fucking birthday. I'm going to set $1,000 aside of that for a dinner with my family at the Waldorf Astoria so we can pop some fucking champagne and so SoFi can pay for it. That's what I'm going to do. What are you going to do? You know, you can take some of that fucking hard-earned cash and pay down some fucking debt. You can pay your mortgage. Imagine paying more on your mortgage, you know, just with fucking SoFi premium money. Your SoFi premium, you don't have to wait to sell SoFi, right, in the future because it just paid your fucking mortgage for the month. How beautiful is that? I've done it. I know you can do it too, right? Take some of that money and buy yourself something nice. Make it tangible. I bought fucking a $4,500 fridge. That, you know, it was like our fridge was taking a shit, and I fucking bought this bullshit that makes sphere fucking ice, and I like it. I fucking like it. You know, no, who was to tell that I like sphere ice? I didn't know that, but Manhattans are pretty fucking delicious with a sphere of ice in it. And fucking, and that's just the bottom line. I go and I make some fucking hot wings, my fucking $400 microwave that I didn't need, but I fucking bought because it was Black Friday, it was on sale, and I had the money. So like I bought it, right? I bought my daughter fucking a new a TV for her room. I bought a fucking giant fucking TV for us downstairs and for the room here for my bedroom. It's all tangible. This is cover call money. I took my wife, the family, out, in Waikiki, and we fucking chilled in Waikiki for 3 weeks almost on fucking cover call money. And yes, I used points from credit cards, and I stayed at the Hilton using Hilton points, and I used my airline points to fly there. A lot of but whenever we went out to dinner, I would pay with fucking my credit card that got paid down with that money, with premium money. And like we fucking rented a car that was like $2,000, to rent, big fucking car to fucking hold all 6 of us around, right? For 3 weeks. That's expensive. That was like $2,500. Premium money. So like it's a fucking thing. It's tangible that you really can do this. And it's just it's one of those things that you can do it, man. It's just, make SOFI your bitch. That's what Uncle Bruce says, right? Make this stock market your bitch. Yeah, you can. Make it your bitch. Make it pay you to hold it. You've already held for long enough, right? Might as well get something out of it. So get some fucking money. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at getting $2, per share on premium, I mean. Right? And then let the chips fall where they may whenever it is that I fucking decide to sell SOFI. And that's just the bottom line, man. And that's my outlook on it. That's the way that I see it. Make, some fucking money, you knuckleheads. And just fucking sell covered calls. And tomorrow SOFI is probably gonna hit fucking a home run on all metrics, and we're gonna be fucking happy. And I wish the best for this crew, so that one day maybe we can all fucking meet like in Hawaii somewhere, or like somewhere in LA, with Uncle Bruce, or like, why not? Go and travel, and like in fucking trade while you're fucking smoking a spliff somewhere, with your wife, girlfriend, I don't know, boyfriend, Hot Wing Mike, fucking drink a Manhattan in Hawaii while eating fucking hot wings like in, Waikiki while you trade. That shit would take a selfie. Fucking send it to us, not a lurker. Go lurk in fucking England. Go lurk in fucking Japan and fucking use some of that money to go and lurk somewhere in fucking Tokyo. Take some fucking pictures and send it to us, Birdie could get another fucking wife. I don't know. Go to Africa and pay a dowry, shit. I don't know. But like, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see some positive numbers tomorrow. I'm excited to see, what the crew is gonna do tomorrow. But like, have a plan. Sit down, have a plan. Deploy stink bids, deploy stink asks. And let's do what we do. All right, guys. Well, it was great. Fucking, catching up with you guys, reading, your comments. Give me a thumbs up. Fucking share on the Discord so other people can see it and, maybe gives them a good idea. And even if you don't watch this shit, have it on the background playing so that, the algorithm can catch it. And then at some point, some dummy somewhere in fucking Mississippi or New York City or Florida or Oklahoma could maybe see this and they're like heavily invested in SOFI. And then they can make some dough, and they don't know about covered calls, but maybe they'll go down the rabbit hole and start finding Uncle Bruce, or start finding some other channel where they're gonna get explained, what covered calls are, what cash secure puts are, and just start becoming part of the Discord or whatnot. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm out of here. God damn, it's been almost 2 hours. I honestly was gonna do an hour. But anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow, I guess, on the Uncle Bruce show. I'll be showing my face there for a little bit, and then let's have a fucking good day. See you, you crazy savages. And remember, cash is king, but credit is power, man. You guys have a good night. Thanks.